Hi, I'm Debbie Harbeck, and I'm a certified life coach working with women in midlife and through the menopause transition. So each week, I'll be sharing the latest information, inspiration, and generate some momentum so you can move forward and feel more in control of your changing midlife body and your life. Let's go. Hi, and welcome to the podcast. So I am super excited. Today I have Joan MacDonald on the podcast. Joan is living proof that it's not ever too late to transform your life. At the age of 70, Joan faced serious health issues, so she decided to sit in the driver's seat and take back control. Through consistency and discipline, Joan shed over 70 pounds, built strength both physically and mentally, and redefined what aging can look like. And today she inspires a community of over 2 million people worldwide, proving that real change is possible at any stage of life. And I'm personally excited to have her on the podcast. She's a fellow Canadian, a true inspiration to so many women, including me. And most of all, she gives so much hope to women who might be on the verge of giving up. So welcome, Joan. And I just want to thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you, Deb, for inviting me to come. I'm excited to be here.
So I'm going to start how this started with you because you were 70. How old are you now, Joan?
I'll be 79 next month.
Okay, so happy birthday in advance.
Yeah.
So when you turned 70, what happened and what was the turning point that made you decide to start changing your life?
Like I said, told my daughter I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was on blood pressure pills and they wanted to up the amount. And I told my doctor, I says, I don't want to up it. I want to get off it. What can I do? And can we do this without having more pills? And I also had high cholesterol. But when I asked the doctor, it didn't look like it was high. He said, well, it's for maintenance. And I'm going, why am I taking meds for maintenance if there's another way of doing it? I'm just sick of doctors giving you pills when you get to a certain age, and especially mine. I was way past where they start. They usually
Yep.
start when you're in your 40s, sometimes even in your 30s. No, I wanted my life back. And my daughter said, I'm not going to be around to help you if you keep going on this road, because I was really, really short of breath. I've been short of breath for many years because I've had rheumatic fever a couple of times in my life. It did affect my heart, but not near as much as it does some people. Anyway, I did not like where my retirement was going. It was like, am I just waiting to pass out, pass
Oh
away?
my gosh.
I didn't like that. I wanted to do something with my life, because my husband and I had promised each other that that's what we do when we got older, but he went one way and I went the other. I just did not want to live like that, waiting. So I thought, I will work really hard at this. The other thing being, I had no idea about technology.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I've had a daughter and a son-in-law that gets it through to me. It might take quite a few lessons, but it does get through. We did this long distance, and the way we did it then was a lot different than what we do it now, because we had PDFs at the beginning, and then go back into my Safari and look up YouTube exercises how to do them, because she's way down in Mexico and I'm up in Canada.
Yeah, and your she's a trainer, right? And
Trainer
she
and coach and
and
chef,
coach.
everything. Yeah, she's a go-getter. Very, very intelligent. She loved
Hmm.
books and she devoured them, like not normal children's books. They were like what adults would do. So yeah, she
Wow.
was way out of her league growing up. Anyway, she laid it down the way it was. She wasn't going to dumb down anything for me. If I would join her group of transformation women, then I had to do everything that they did. And she made sure of that. So I got to thank her for that. She made me take
Absolutely.
photos when I just abhorred having my photo taken. Back then, I don't feel so bad about it now because I've changed myself. So Yeah,
Hmm.
that makes a big difference when you start liking yourself. A lot of things change, and it is mind over matter, most of it. You can
Yeah,
heal yourself or you can make yourself sick, depending on how you think. We all
yeah.
have to get a hold of ourselves and change the way we think so that we get stronger and not weaker.
Absolutely. Would you say, Joan, was it the physical change that came before the mindset change, or did you have to change your mind before you got into the physical shape you did? What came
I think
first?
they were almost simultaneous. Like at the beginning, I wanted to change. I knew that I could. I knew my doctor, I approached her and said, look, if we can get my weight down and then my blood pressure under control, do you think we can get me off the blood pressure pills? Because when I went on them at the beginning, they said, oh, once you start, you can't come off. And that is a fallacy. And the same with any drug that anyone takes. You can't take pharmaceuticals for prolonged periods of time without having an adverse effect. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I know that because it's not natural. It's got natural in it, but what they add is what your body can't get rid of. So it has to store itself somewhere. Usually it's your joints. So we have a lot of arthritis in our family, like on both sides, my mom and dad's side. It was inevitable that I'd get it. It makes life miserable when it really gets bad. I've had stem cell replacement with. I got my fingers moving. This part of my hand was fine. It's my thumbs, and you really do need your thumbs.
Yes.
Oh, it's like you can't be cutting off toes either because that's got to do with your balance. The same with the hands. You have to be able to place them to get the leverage. And I think I just learned an awful lot by listening to my daughter and son-in-law. They know the body parts. They have the names for them. I'd have to spend years memorizing them to be able to say anything to you intelligently. So yeah, it was hard learning to use technology and combining all the things that we had to do. Learning the macros was the hardest part, but however I did it, I must have hit it pretty good because the weight came off faster than I thought it would.
Okay. So these are things you had to learn along the way. Like you said, at first you were doing this at a distance. So your daughter was sending you PDFs with links and you were doing the exercises, I guess, in Ontario
Yeah,
where you live. And
and
then
yeah,
the
and if she came,
macros,
yeah,
learning that whole system.
yeah,
Yeah.
if she came up to visit, the first couple of years was better because they did come because they were still competing in Canada. We would go to the gym and she'd tweak how I did things, made sure I was doing it right. Because form is a big part of it. If you don't have good form, you're not going to get good results. And the other thing was getting the amount of sleep that I needed. It was the old adage from my grandparents' time: early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Getting enough liquid into my body, meditating. I was doing a lot of meditating and I was doing some yoga. I'm flexible in certain areas, but not in all areas. It's learning your whole body, like how everything works. But I think one of the biggest things that helped me along the way was keeping my sense of humor and plus remembering what it was like being a child, like my happy.
Mm.
I think happy is the best place to be. If you can find happiness in simple things, don't make life complicated. Make it easier. And that's the same as with my meals. I've made them pretty simple, but they're enjoyable. And I do have what we call supposedly a cheat night. It's not really a cheat. You can have more of certain things. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, being like eating this way and living the lifestyle you do, it doesn't feel like you're depriving yourself.
No,
You feel good about eating the way you do now because you know eating that way makes you feel good.
that's right. It's
Yeah.
true. And your belief is pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a balanced meal of protein, carbs, and good fats. We don't take out one thing just
No.
because fads say, oh, carbs, you can't have carbs, or you can't have protein, you can't, animal food. My parents came from very good stock. They're from Newfoundland, and you have to be hardy to be able to live there when you're
Yes.
isolated. So we ate simply, but we ate well.
Hmm.
We grew our own food.
Wow.
Simple is best.
It's almost like you're getting back to your roots in a
Yeah,
way,
it
right?
is.
Wow. That's amazing. And then before you started this journey, were you going to the gym at all? Or it was this like really
I
starting
had
from
been, I had,
zero?
yeah, I had a gym membership, but I wasn't using it. And I got a trainer. I think I was able to save up twice to get a trainer for, I think it was a 3 or 4 week period, like 1 month. It's expensive when you're just on your pension. So I had to save. And I
Yeah.
would save just to be able to do that. And I did lose weight. Actually, the girl was quite astounded at how and where I lost my weight.
Okay.
And
So how and where did you lose it?
I lost it in my neck as well.
Mm.
Like it just the all over. I gain weight all over when I do gain weight. Like some people do it in one area and then and more in another, right?
Yeah.
But I gain all over. So you don't when you're gaining weight all over, you don't normally see that unless you've had a picture taken like maybe a couple of months before, and then you see yourself and you go, oh, getting a little bit chunky there. But I didn't even want to look, I didn't like pictures being taken. Then I think that's probably underneath everything. I probably knew that I was
Mhm.
gaining weight because I
Yeah.
was doing a lot of snacking, like might not
Hmm.
eat very many meals and not a lot of food, but snacking on the wrong thing, which was my peanuts.
Okay. That was your
Oh, there's
snack of
protein in
choice.
peanuts, isn't there?
But then, I mean, you didn't just like just lose weight. You've like gained incredible amounts of muscle. Like you're,
I think, yeah. I think when the weight came off, the muscle was still there because I did a lot of heavy work. My husband supervised and I did the work. We built my retaining wall around my house and all the rest of it. I did that. And it's not
wow.
just building blocks, it's that heavy stone, you know?
Okay.
So I did all that work and I would get up on the roof and I would did the shingles. I was helping. It's just like there was nothing that he could ask me to do that I couldn't do because I would just do it.
So you were always strong.
I
Strength.
think I was always
Yeah.
pretty strong, but just not in shape. There's a
Yeah.
big difference. You can be
Yes.
strong and look flabby, and that's what I was. So I think the muscle was actually there, but you couldn't see it. It was never defined. And
Yeah.
once I started seeing the definition, I'm going, whoa, if I got this now, if I keep going, what am I going to look like? So that's really what it is. It's a wonder. You've got to be curious about, okay, I've got this far. Why stop now? Let's just keep going and see how good it can get. Pretty much how it's been.
So just like it propels you forward, just seeing the
Yeah,
progress that you make, right?
yeah. And my daughter made me like she made all of the girls take before pictures, like how they looked
Mhm.
when they started. You had to have a front, a side, and a back. And man, oh man, what a difference that makes when you wonder. I don't think anything's happening. When you look at compare those pictures, oh yeah,
You
you'll
can
see
see
it.
it.
It
Yeah.
doesn't take all that long. I started seeing the changes within 3 months. And it's a lifestyle. So I wasn't in a hurry. like I wasn't working anymore. I could do
Yeah.
when I wanted to, but I like doing my exercises first thing in the morning. And I think because I was totally consistent, always doing it, whatever dates there was, I didn't do a huge amount of cardio. I just did enough on the days that I was working out. And I did a little more when I didn't have to work out. Like I would ride my bike a lot. You don't have to do a ton of cardio. It's doing the exercises with weight resistance consistently and upping the weights as you go along. You don't have to go from 5 to 10 pounds. You can do it in small increments, like 1 pounders. And you can also, if you've got only a few things at home, you can always get those little metal plates that open up and grab onto your dumbbells. There's so many ways. And even the bands cause a lot of resistance. You can do that because I had to do that when I was going through COVID. Like I was
Mhm.
doing the exercises at home and showing people that you can still work out at home. It doesn't take a lot. You could use your imagination. Okay, I got a 10-pound bag of something or a 20-pound bag. Use that as a weight.
That's fantastic. Yeah, because you can really do it anywhere. And that's so useful because some people think, oh, it's going to be such a big deal, but you can really just go in your own house and find these things. They don't even
You
have to
can
be
find it,
fancy.
yes. And
Yeah.
like I said, you have to have an open mind, constantly have an open mind. Listen to people who you admire and get a buddy. If you can't, if you can't afford a trainer or a coach, get somebody that also feels like they want to get stronger and healthier as they age. I mean, I've got people in their 30s that follow me,
Yeah.
and they follow me for their parent. Maybe they started off that way and now they're following me because they want to get stronger.
Well, that's it because that's you're over 20 years older than me, but I'm like when I get to 79, I want to have a body like yours. I want to be strong. I want to feel fit. I want to feel good in my body at your age, and I know that starts as soon as you can start it. As
Yes,
early as you can begin is the best.
there's no age limit. Age doesn't have a bloody thing to do with it. You can start any age and do not listen to those that say, oh, you're getting older. You better not do that because it doesn't mean anything. I want to be able to look after me. I don't want someone else doing stuff for me. I'm
Hmm.
independent. I don't want it. And I will make sure, as long as I can, that I don't have to have it. I don't have to have someone looking after me. Calling up someone, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? I'll do it myself. And if you suffer from vertigo or something like that, or vertigo, whatever, however you say it, then look after that part. Take these things that are holding you back and work on them so that it releases you to do what you want. No one should have to think that they've got to sit in front of a boob tube watching senseless programs for the rest of their life and not move. You don't have a life. You have an existence. You need to live your life. And actually, being older gives you a lot of more free license,
Hmm.
believe it or not, to say and do a lot of things and
I
show them.
love that. I
Yeah,
love
and show
that.
them what can be done.
So I just want to go back. Are you now not on any medications?
I had to go back on a light low dose of blood pressure because of my kidneys. And once that gets settled, I'll be off them again.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing that you're
I
still
just
working
don't.
on that, right?
No,
It doesn't stop. You don't just give up and say, that's it. This is
no.
the rest of my life, right? And that means I know you have hopes and dreams. Like, what are some things you still want to be able to do as in the
Well,
next
I'm
few
going to
years?
start this year. I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to Tuscany
Yay.
in May. I'm so happy about that. And I want to go back. well, I am going to go on another trip with my daughter, doing a tour on a ship plus trains, I guess.
Mhm.
And it's going to be what they call it, the Baltic area.
Okay, yeah.
So going to Oslo, Copenhagen, and I can't even say some of the names that starts. One starts with an S. That's going to be so exciting because there's so much history there. And I
Ah,
guess really history has been my topic that I really like, and I'm glad my son-in-law loves history too.
okay. So is this you're going to be your first time in Europe?
Yes,
Oh, wow. What a fabulous trip.
I've never been across. Yeah, I've done the States with some people, friends of ours. I've done a few, like gone through many states because there's so many in the States. I've done Canada, across Canada several couple times, and Mexico. That's where
Okay.
I've been. Yeah.
Amazing.
And one day I'll go to Brazil too, because that's where a lot of my fans are.
Oh, really? You have a
Yeah,
lot of, okay.
a
Yeah,
lot
and I
of
want to
people.
talk about that, your online community, because obviously for somebody who never liked to have her picture taken, you're definitely on the other side of that with your online community because your pictures are all over the place and they're inspiring people everywhere. And how has that been for you to have like such a big,
It's it's been an eye opener. I was very reluctant at first, even talking to strangers, and I'm getting better at it. My daughter, my even at the first year, she started me on Instagram just to get me to be more communicative with other
hmm
people and encouraging. And I'm going, well, if I can do it, you definitely can. There's, that is how I think. I don't see why anyone really has to stop. There are physical disabilities that are going to stop you from getting that way. But if you have any kind of health at all left in your body,
hmm
you can change a lot of things. You just got to use your mind. You got to
Yeah.
think, yes, I can. Just like that little train. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's so true. It's that, it can be that simple. And yet it can be tough though. I know a lot of people
It's
have a lot
not
of
easy.
resistance.
It definitely
Yeah.
is not easy. And you're going to find times when you feel like someone slammed you. But at the other side, end of it, you're going to be so thankful that you've got your life back and you can move and you can do things that you never did before. Just thought of doing, but never did them because
Yeah.
you thought you couldn't. I got a
Yeah.
mug that says, do the things that you think you can't do.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
That's so
So
good.
true. Yeah.
So because you're just adding things that you can do rather than, I think a lot of people are going, as they get older, they're crossing things off the list that they can no longer do. But I think you're adding to your list of things you can do, which is amazing.
Well, I've said it before, there's nothing stopping you from doing stuff except you.
Yeah.
Your decision to stop. Not that you can't, but you won't even try. You've got to try. And I mean try, not fluff it.
You've got to give it your
You've got to
all.
give it a strong, strong try.
What do you do? Like, I'm just curious, what do you do if you do fall down, if you do get off the wagon and you have bad days? How do you pick yourself up? What are the things or tools that you would use to get yourself going again?
Well, I guess one thing is having a coach like my daughter. she
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't give up. She just makes you do what you're supposed to do. Are you going to tell her that you could do it? You didn't try?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, no. Everyone thinks I have it easy because I've got a daughter that I live with most of the time that trains, but she doesn't have a lot of time to spend
Mm,
with me doing anything. So I've got to do it myself and I've got to show her that I can do it. So
yeah.
even in the early days when I was really hurting and sore, I now know that doing your warm ups and your cool downs are very, very much necessary. And when you think you can't do something, start it. And before you're finished, you're warmed up. You feel it. You know you can do it. And that really, I think, was a big thing when I first kept doing that better after starting, even though I thought I couldn't. Oh, there's no way I can do that today. Yeah, I did it. I got
Wow.
through it and I did it. And when you know that you can do that, then that gives you more freedom. Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, I think, like you said, I think it's just about showing up.
Yeah,
And even if you don't feel like it, you show up. Like I do
do
with
the
my
best.
clients, I say just do something. Just start doing something and then see how you feel, right? Don't just throw it out the window. Just show up for yourself. Start doing something, even if it's easier than you planned, and just see where it goes because it's about, I know you used the word before, consistency. It's about
Mhm.
doing it consistently, showing up for yourself every day because
You
I,
make a promise to
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
You can't keep a promise to yourself. Who can you keep a promise to?
Yeah, I think a lot of women have a hard time keeping promises to themselves because they're taking
Most
care of
definitely.
everybody else, right? If
It's
somebody
true.
else's problem shows up, then they're like their plan is out the window because they're going to focus on that problem that somebody else has. But, it's keeping yourself front and center and saying, if I don't take care of myself, I
How can
can't I
how
can't
can
take care of
I take
everyone
care of
else.
someone else?
How can I take care of myself? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so good. For women that, because I work with women who are going through menopause, so that's been a few years ago for you. What is something you would tell them in terms of getting through this time of life and getting to the other side? Is there any advice you would have for these women?
From what I know now, yeah,
Hmm.
don't believe a lot of what's on media because it's not always true. If you're going to think something is really good, make sure you research it and make sure it's researched with proper documentation.
Okay.
And everybody is going to have a different reaction. Most everybody is going to have a different reaction. Like they're not going to feel like I do, but they might feel like somebody else does. It's individual. Don't even compare yourself to somebody else. You only have to compare yourself with yourself. We can do it. We
Yeah.
can just put our mind to it.
Yeah, I see so much of what you're saying is very much mindset, right? It's very much believing you can do it despite any issues you might have because I think like it or not, we will maybe we'll probably have more issues, more health issues and things coming up as we get older. But your mind can still be like I can still there's so much I can still do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd like people to understand. You can do a lot more than you think you can.
Yeah.
Just keep at it.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard, but it's damn well worthwhile.
So do you see yourself continuing then on this journey?
As
Is there
much as I can.
as
I just
much as you
can't.
can?
Yeah. Because I know that as you age, your body takes longer to bounce back. So if you let it go too long, you're going to have a hard time bouncing back. It just
Yeah.
does not do that. And
Yeah.
that's from experience. That's from experience, not from what someone's telling me. I'm living it. I was supposed to not do a lot of exercises with the stem cell. And that was just about driving me crazy. I'm going, I've got to be able to do something. Let me do something. It took a long time for me to get even doing the exercises I'm doing now. It has to work. When you have them injected into you, they have to find a place to go and grow. And if you do things prior than when you're supposed to start it,
Hmm.
you could end up killing them and not nurturing them.
So you had this stem cell treatment because of the arthritis in your hands
Mostly because of the
or your
arthritis, but
thumbs.
I have a problem with the shoulder.
Hmm.
It's not a frozen shoulder, but it acts like a frozen shoulder. And I had a really nasty fall off my bike,
Okay.
but I still ride my bike.
Good for
And
you.
I landed on the shoulder and my face.
Wow.
So I think the impact pulled, because it's not the joint. I've had MRIs, had 2 MRIs done. It's not the joint, it's the muscles, ligaments, and tendons holding everything in place that are out of
Hmm.
whack.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
being able to find someone who can put them back in place. I might have to have an operation just to have that done,
Okay.
because it's
Okay.
very limiting, and I don't like that feeling that I can't do my shoulder ones. I get, this arm goes up great. This arm takes a lot of effort. I cannot really straighten it all that much. That's as good
Okay.
as I can go. See the bend in it. So it's not where I want it to be. I'll just keep at it until I get it going. Yeah.
I love that. I love that you don't give up. I love your spirit in all of this. And I'm going to take some of it too, because currently I have an issue with my hip, and yeah, I might need a hip replacement. It's looking
Better
like
to
I
have
might
a
need
hip
that.
replacement than a knee.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what
Yeah.
I've heard.
Had one knee
So,
replaced. The
did
other one,
you?
yeah. And that one is really strong now. The other one is, it's going.
How long ago did you have that? That's been a while.
Been 10 years.
10
October,
years.
October past, yeah.
So you've had a knee replacement. You've still done everything that you've done. You've still,
Yeah,
after that, you've built
I
yourself
had that
up,
3 years before I started this
wow.
transformation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. And do you plan on meeting, like, because you've got over 2 million followers on Instagram. When you go on these trips abroad, are you going to be meeting any of these people, or is that a part of the
I
plan?
I probably will be meeting people there, because everywhere I go, doesn't matter where I go, I meet someone. And the most frequent place is the grocery store, no matter what town I'm in. I'm like, oh my God, this is
Everybody
where
knows
everyone
you.
meets. Everyone meets you at the grocery store. And here, you're not really dolled up or anything like that when you're out there grocery shopping. I'm doing my shopping.
I love that. I love that. Okay. I mean, this has been so enlightening and so full of joy. I just love talking to you. I love your energy, and I love that you're sharing it with the world, because I think we need more Joans out there.
Yeah, if I
to
get to go to England, the British Isles, I
Mhm.
have very many people in those places. I've
Yes.
got them in Germany, I've got them in Japan, I've got them South Africa. I think there's not too many places that I haven't got someone, because
Wow.
I've got some people in New Zealand that are on my program. So my app. So, and that,
Yeah.
it's the simplest. It's a really simple app. It's not geared for people who want to go into shows or anything like that, but it's a prelude to doing any of that where you change your mind, because one of my girls found me first, and then she's now with my daughter.
This is your Train with Joan app, right? This
Yeah,
is which we can obviously get online, get on our phones, and this is to get people started
pretty
on
much.
this
Yeah.
journey.
If
Yeah.
even if you're limited in what you can do, the first program is for assisted program, and then it's your beginners, and then it's your intermediate, and the intermediate is usually led by Michelle and me doing the exercises. So like I say, it's a good starter for people.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to be a miraculous thing. You will get stronger if you do. If you're consistent with everything that's asked of you, then it's inevitable that you get stronger, because
That's it.
it's how I started. Like exact same ones are brought out, and we filmed them all, and that's how I did it. So
So
yeah,
this is basically your journey in an app,
that's right.
and anybody can follow it, because it is, like you said, it's progressive. So you will get results. I mean, you will get stronger for sure, because you're going to challenge your body the whole way along, and make sure that it does get
Yeah.
stronger. So yeah, you can't really fail if you're consistent.
Yeah. And the thing is, some people change their minds about what they want to do. Like they just wanted to lose some weight and get a little stronger. And then they go, well, I think maybe I'd like to have a photo shoot or
Mhm.
whatever to see how good I can look. And then there's others that, oh, maybe I should try the stage, see what happens there. And then they progress to someone that's better. Like, because I'm not a coach or a trainer, I'm
Mhm.
just showing people how to do it, do the
Yeah.
exercises that my daughter and son-in-law have mapped out for anyone.
Absolutely. You're like the door to get into the
Yeah, I
like
call myself the conduit.
you're the conduit. You're the conduit. You're what brings people in because
Yeah,
you are the inspiration that brings people in. And so many of us are attracted to you for what you've done and just to show like I always refer my clients to go look at Joan. Like it's possible. It's not your age that's going to limit you. It's your mindset.
fine. Yeah,
So if you can break through there, there's nothing that can stop you.
true. I
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.
We could be a mutual admiration society.
Yay. So I always ask my guests this question, but what has been the best part of getting older for you?
Bringing me out of my hermit-like stage of life. I,
Mm.
being able to listen and talk to new people. I've always loved older people, even when I was younger, or really young babies, like really young
Mm-hmm.
or really old. The old people have the stories to tell you. The young ones aren't afraid to open their mouth and saying what they really think.
That's so interesting. I too I am very attracted to little children and older people for those reasons too. There's something beautiful about both,
Yeah,
and there's so much to learn from both, right?
you can learn definitely a lot from both.
Oh no, this is so good. That's such a good answer, and I appreciate that. So, if my audience wants to get in touch with you, I know they can find you on Instagram. So, Train with Joan, that's your handle on Instagram.
Mhm.
You'll find Joan there for sure. And there's a Train with Joan app. Is there anywhere else they can find you?
They just have to Google my name
YouTube
or
and
go to
Google.
YouTube. Yeah. YouTube got me. I started in 2017. I think 2018, they had me on TV at the end of the year. Like for
So
the,
we,
what is it, the New Year's thingy, where they bring these people did all these things
wow.
from little kids to big older ones. Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
can go back and look at that.
I was, what is it? Hip thrusting.
Oh, you were hip thrusting.
Yes. And I got up to 200 and something odd pounds. I can't remember what my daughter said. And I go, and the look on my face is, what are you trying to do? Kill me? But I did it. No, she didn't kill me at all. She
No,
made
you
me
did
work
it.
for it.
Oh, that's amazing. I've got to go find that video. And I've read your book too, which is Flex Your Age, which is a
Yeah.
lot about you, your journey and your daughter's journey. Because obviously, you and your daughter have worked together to create all that you've created, right? It's
Yeah, it's her,
both of you.
it's mainly her dream, and I think I made it come true.
Oh,
So we
that's
we both
amazing.
benefit from it.
Absolutely. That's so beautiful. And it's beautiful that you've been able to work with Michelle and to create this amazing community. Thank you so much for all you do.
Well, thank you, Deb, for talking to me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Midlife Momentum Podcast. If you want to learn more about working with me, come visit me at debbieharbeckcoaching.com. That's Debbie, I-E, Harbeck with a C, coaching.com. See you next week.